in order for you to have the true muscle fiber stimulation on your body. Fat loss equals weight loss, not weight loss. Weight loss equals muscle loss. Body shape is the person's responsibility, but the body type is what your mama gave you.
Everyone's different. Everyone's unique to their DNA. 85% of what you eat, you said it's even a little bit more.
Yeah.
So, good morning and welcome to Fit to Over 50. I am Doug Jeffrey, and thank you for joining us on this lovely Sunday. This platform is all about sharing and giving back. It's about respecting the temple that was all given to us. And it's not only talking about physical health, it's mental health. We are combining everything all together. And thank you for joining us. Happy Memorial Day weekend. And shout out to all the veterans out there. And my punctilious partner of Salubrious Activities, Mr. Tony Hill, has another engagement that he's tied up on. We miss you, Tony. And Tony is a veteran. So shout out to not only Tony and all the other veterans. So we miss you, buddy. But we have our tertiary element from Sweden. Mr. Michael Green is going to join us, and he is a herpetologist. And later on, we're going to have Karen Hill, which is actually Tony's wife. And she is basically it's back to the basics, which I'll have her explain that a little bit further in detail. And I'm a firm believer, whatever we need to stay healthy is on our planet. So, and it really is, it's all about what you eat. And I've said before, I think it's up there around 90 to 95%. You are what you eat. And also on, the mental aspect of it, you're also, it's what you're allowing into your brain. So it's very important to be aware. And this show is all about creating awareness because we are all unique and special to our DNA. So what might work for me might not necessarily work for you. So by creating awareness, and that makes you take pride, obviously, in yourself. And, it's not a diet. It's not, it really is a lifestyle. You have to make that commitment to yourself. And once you dial yourself in, you love yourself, and you're feeling good, you have so much more to offer. And that's what Fit Over 50 is about. As we all age, it's something we cannot stop, but slowing that process down. So when, you get up into those golden years, you're feeling great, you're looking good, you have so much more to offer to your family, your grandkids. And that's really what this platform's about. So we are going back to the basics. And the basics are from this beautiful Mother Earth. So without any further ado, and I was telling Michael before, I love words, and I'm trying to get his intro all set up. So I'm gonna try it. So we're gonna go on a gastronomic pilgrimage with nature's eupeptic pleasures. So please welcome from Sweden, live from Sweden, Michael Green. Mike, how did I do, man? Did it sound good?
It sounds great, Doug. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. And how's Sweden out there?
It is beautiful. The weather is quite nice now, and this is one of my favorite times of the year here in Sweden. It's springtime still. The official start of summer is June 21st, which is my birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you. So right now...
let me just stop everybody. How old are you? How old are you going to be?
51.
51. So perfect. He is in the Fit Over 50 platform, and you could start this way younger, but as we start climbing up in those years, you really have to lock and load into as I said before, it's not a diet, it is a lifestyle. Once you get into that lifestyle, you can really slow that aging process way down. I mean, it's really, and we are what we eat, per se.
Yes, we are. And I call it successful aging.
Successful aging, because we can't stop it, right?
We can't. It's inevitable. We all age. At the same time, we can do things to help us to enjoy our lives to the fullest. And what's interesting, Doug, is that I'm a bird watcher. I'm an animal watcher. And when I'm watching them, I look at these animals and I say that every animal, every creature is being a full-fledged animal. So if I see a worm in the ground, it's being a full-fledged worm. It's doing its work. The birds are doing their work. They're very consistent and they don't have a choice like we do. They have to do it.
Yeah, they do. And once again, it's to live life on this lovely creation. We're all so blessed. It is magnificent how not only the universe works, but our human body. I mean, it heals itself. So, with that said, going back to the basics, uh, nature's way, so to speak, and that's what you specialize in. You're a herbologist. So you're taking nature, mixing it up, and finding those eupeptic pleasures that comes from the ground. And eupeptic is it's from peptides, healthy digestion, health, feeling healthy. So that's really what it's about. So what are you cooking up there, Mike?
Okay, so when you mention digestion, then I'm going to put together something that's going to help that. And it's going to be for the liver and also the kidneys and even the pancreas. Okay.
Wow.
So I have some milk thistle here, the
Milk
actual
thistle?
seeds, milk thistle. Um, I have some dandelion root here that I'm going to be using, and also some burdock root,
Burdock
which
root.
is, yes, it's an excellent blood cleanser,
Wow.
but it's also excellent for the liver. The dandelions are excellent for the liver too, and also it cleanses the kidneys. And the milk thistle is number one on my list when it comes to healing the liver.
Wow, it's amazing. I have tortoises, right? And most people, I don't know if you don't know, tortoises. Excuse me. Tortoises on average live from 80 to well over 100 years, and my tortoises love dandelions. So, and I think we can actually what makes a tortoise have that longevity? What is that? And it's one of the longest living reptiles on our planet. So, what is it? And is it the diet? And we all talk about this. I say 90-95% we are what we eat.
Yes, yes, indeed. That's correct, Doug. And with the tortoises, with the birds, the worms, and all the animals that I see out here, they just live their lives, and it's instinctive. This is
Yes.
what they have to do. With us as human beings, we have a choice, and unfortunately, over a period of time, a lot of the things that we were used to as hunters and gatherers, we lost that along the way. And,
Yeah.
and that is our way. It's like, we used to be out every day. We would go and hunt and gather our food. So our cardio was up to par. Our diet was great. The things that we were eating from the forest, from the
All
jungles,
natural.
all natural. And we were thriving. We were thriving. And now somehow it got lost. I believe around, when was World War II?
Exactly, because I remember reading something where they were saying breakfast, lunch, and dinner was pretty much created to move product. move food. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, all of it, we talked before about this, all of, there's foods in America, it's so adulterated. Other countries have banned a lot of the things that America puts in their foods. And what you said, it really is going back to the basics where, proteins. I mean, way back when, you'd be lucky to have protein if you were to get that kill, but it was all, you were foraging,
Yes.
greens, berries, nuts, whatever you could get. So these big, huge meals from McDonald's or Burger King, it's just, it really has changed the way our bodies process and
Yes.
break it down. So you combine that food and lack of activity. It's a recipe for disaster, especially as we age.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely correct. And I remember, I think World War II, when that first started, one of the first fast foods was spam.
Yeah,
It
spam in
was
a can, and
it
from
was
the
spam for the
military.
soldiers.
Yeah, military. From the war, and all processed.
Yeah, yeah, all processed. And at the same time, over here in Europe, you had another dynamic in which you had the British soldiers discovered that when they ate wild blueberry jam, that it improved their eyesight when they were flying at night.
Wow.
Yes, so wild blueberries are super high in vitamin A, that is great for your eyesight, and which you
Yeah.
could also find in carrots and other things like that. So okay, so
This
we
all
have
came from. This all came. You just picked this not too long ago, right?
yeah. Well,
Off your
some
property.
of it the roots are a little bit more challenging because you have to dig them up. It takes a little time to do that, and then you have to chop them up carefully, and you have to put them on low heat in the oven, or you can dry them in a brown paper bag such as this, and then you
Wow.
fold it up and you store it in a cool and dark place, and then you let it dry for a few weeks. You take it out, you chop it up. So I could use the dandelion um, as not only a great herb for your kidneys and also your liver, but as a coffee replacement.
Really? You have to send me some
Absolutely.
of that. I love coffee, but I'm willing to go more of a you peptic pleasure from nature, so to
Yes.
speak. So
Yeah. Yes. So I would like to show everybody out there and how I make my herbal tea infusion with the dandelion root, also the burdock, and then also we have the milk thistle. So I'm using three different herbs, and sometimes people, uh, they think they can't mix them, but you can. The thing is, you just have to know what you're doing, and you have to make sure that one doesn't interfere with the other. So a lot
what
of
does that
times,
mean? Can you explain that a little? What do you mean one doesn't interfere with the other? Can you elaborate on that?
like you have some that can take up more nutrients from the other,
Wow.
and they could battle. It's just like when you take medication and they tell you not to
Oh,
use certain
wow.
herbs. Yeah, because absorb it and then they'll start taking away, and they fight in the gut. It's a real fight in there. And they said,
Wow.
no, I'm going to take over. And you have one that if you put too much of a herb in, then it could also be toxic, especially for people that's on medication. So if you're already taking medication for your liver, then milk thistle, you have to be very careful with it because it'll start fighting. It's a big competition in your belly for it.
Yeah.
And
So anybody out there that's watching us, just please always check with your doctor or your physician in regards to trying and adding different things. So just make sure, because there could be, as Michael was saying, interaction with
yeah,
not only herbs themselves, but in interaction with any kind of medication that you're already on. So
especially with medications, I would definitely suggest that you see your primary care physician
Yeah.
first and tell them exactly what you're taking, and then they'll let you know.
But here's the thing. I mean, we all know big pharma is taking over with everything. So, in your opinion, can some of these herbal teachers, they're teachers, right? Uh,
Yes,
could they replace pharmaceutical drugs?
absolutely, absolutely. You know, milk thistle. I'm not allowed to put this in my herbal tea formulas here and put it on the market because it is considered a drug by the European Union pharmaceutical companies.
Wow. So it must have the efficacy to really work, or they wouldn't do that. That's fascinating, actually.
It is.
That's
So,
fascinating.
when anybody gets a chance out there, look up milk thistle and the effects that it have on your liver. It's one of the best in the world.
Wow, Ariel, can you put up on the screen all three of the ingredients that Michael's talking about right now? Actually, so anybody out there watching can hit the lovely Google search and do their own little research. And anybody who's watching, we want you. This platform is just creating awareness. So what we're saying, do your own research, look into it. And as I said, we're all different, but you might find that thing. And yes, pharmaceutical drugs do serve a purpose. But in my humble opinion, there's ways to get off of them. There's ways to have a much more natural healing process. What's out there? And we're going to talk to Karen Hill in a few minutes. And that's what she specializes in. It's about back to the basics, how to heal yourself just through nature and diet. So,
Yes, absolutely. That's a beautiful thing. And so, really quick, I'm going to show you how I put together a simple tea infusion. So, I'm going to put about a half tablespoon of the milk thistle inside my little container here. Have that, and then I'm going to go with a half teaspoon.
what is this tea called, Michael?
Oh, it's just a herbal tea infusion with
You didn't
three.
name it? Don't you have a name for your concoction?
Oh, I would say that it's a liver cleanser,
Liver
liver
cleanser.
healer. Yes,
Yes.
liver and kidney cleanser,
Wow.
and also I could add to that a blood purifier, in which when I'm adding the burdock.
Yeah, you have to send me some of these because I would love to try these just for my own personal benefits. Because if you go into any drugstore, supermarket, if you look at the aisles that are contributed to digestive problems, man, they go on forever. So going back to finding that naturalistic approach to healing our bodies is really the way to go.
Absolutely. So then I'm going to add my water. So normally, if I'm just having a single serving or a couple of servings, I'll add 1 tablespoon of herb to 3 cups of water. And then once I have it in there, I make sure that it's covered. Let me see if I can. So that's what it's
There
going
we
to
go.
look like there. So I have here, and then I'm just gonna put the top on, and then I turn the heat on high. So once I turn the heat on high, I'm waiting for it to boil.
Hmm.
Once the tea comes to a boil, then I push it to the side or just turn off the heat completely. And then I let it sit for about 10 to 15 minutes.
So it's
And
steeped.
yes, it seeps. So all of the essential oils from the different herbs,
Hmm.
they stay in there, they don't escape. And you let it sit for 10, 15 minutes and you enjoy your cup of tea. If you have major problems with your kidneys, lungs, liver, pancreas, then you could take up to 3 cups a day, morning, noon, and night.
Hmm.
If you really want to get into a deeper cleansing, Then you would just eat fruits, right? And you have your herbal teas, and then you have your vegetables that's high in nutrients. Uh, we're looking for nutrient-rich foods. It's all about the minerals. And
Yeah.
I'm a mineral guy. I take the minerals before the vitamins. The vitamins are man-made. They came into existence in the early 1900s. You
Yeah.
know,
And
and
I read recently that a lot of these vitamin companies are being consumed by big pharma.
yeah,
So yeah,
absolutely, absolutely. They are. And it was a gentleman by the name of Casimir Funk. I believe he was a German chemist, and he discovered vitamin B. And he discovered that by feeding pigeons polished rice.
what?
Yeah,
That's
so
crazy.
yeah, so polished rice, you know the white rice,
Yeah.
when the food manufacturers, they put the rice grain, right? They put it through the milling process and they take away the husk, right?
Uh-huh.
And then also the seed and everything. So all you have left on the inside is you call it endosperm, right? It's endosperm, and that's the white part with no nutrients at all in it. And then what they do is they polish it. They polish it, it turns it white so it can look nice and pretty and
Oh
everything
yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
But all of the nutrients are gone. So it doesn't serve you any purpose. So then all of a sudden, the pigeons are eating this, and he noticed them getting sick. And then they developed this disease called beriberi and also pellagra.
Boy, you're speaking a foreign language.
Yeah, yeah. So pellagra is one of the early diseases way back in the days, and actually, I'm about to hit you with a bombshell here.
Here we go.
This is where the terminology redneck comes from,
From where?
the disease pellagra, because
Pellagra.
yeah, the pellagra. Yeah, so Pellagra.
And
Pellagra.
what is pellagra actually?
Yes, it's a disease that affects you when you're lacking vitamin B, and then all of a sudden, you know, your neck turns red, and the Indians used to call people sour necks, or
It makes sense to me. I have to research that because
yeah,
that's where the true redneck came
yeah,
from.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah, but
Yeah,
yep,
no disrespect,
yeah,
but pellagra.
pellagra. Yeah, and they were
Wow.
lacking vitamin B, um, you know, because in the old South, they were eating a high diet of corn. They ate corn, corn, corn.
Starch,
Yes,
starch, starch.
yes. And the
Yeah.
slaves, they brought over watermelons, things of that nature, and black eyed peas and things like that.
I love black eyed peas actually.
Yeah, so they were eating good and they were remaining healthy.
Yeah.
But the slave masters didn't know that then. And they were eating their corn high, but they didn't realize that it was deficient in the
Yes.
mineral niacin.
Which is the B vitamin. So
Yes.
that's why we're gonna bring Karen Hill in, and we're gonna continue this conversation because you really are what you eat, and you have to know what you're eating. And as I say, we're all different, but Fit Over 50 is a platform, as I said, to create the awareness, to advise, to edify, and transmogrify. So without any further ado, and Mike he's going to get his tea ready, but let's bring Karen Hill in, my punctilious partner's lovely wife. Good morning, Karen.
Hey,
Hello, good morning. Hey.
Thank you for joining us.
Good evening to Sweden.
yes. Hey, good morning to you. Oh my goodness. You know, Karen, I always wanted to meet you in person, but this right here will do until we do meet.
Exactly. That's awesome. Thank you.
So there we go. So Karen, it's all about what you eat. So back to the basics. Please define that for everybody out there watching. What is your definition, your theory behind the basics. What is the basics?
Okay, so I'm a holistic nutritionist, and people think that I only deal with nutrition. Actually, health has 4 components, but unfortunately now it's 5. That's where we need Michael. So actually, it's sleep, nutrition, exercise, and emotional well-being. This is what I do when I do back to basics. And unfortunately, everyone is so sick. And you don't have to be on medication to be sick. People don't know that. So now we have to add supplements, unfortunately, because the bucket is so empty. So that's exactly what I do. So I always tell people, I've been saying this, I've been doing this for 30 years. I'm also in the club. I'm 57 years old.
Yeah, all right. There you go.
And so I've been saying this so many years, and it happened just in reverse. I said, what does it mean to be healthy? Let me explain what it means to be healthy. People think that I'm not taking medication. My blood levels are great. The doctor said I'm okay. I'm good to go. No. So I tell people, let's see, you have to leave your house. And they said the sirens are going and you have to get out of the house. Can you live without a medication for days?
A lot of people out there can't, I would venture to say.
Right. Can you live without medication? Can you go hungry for a few days without having side effects? Meaning, oh, my blood sugar, oh my God, it's dropping, or my blood pressure, oh my God, I have a migraine, oh my God, I can't do nothing. Can you do that? Are you physically healthy to be able to run miles or climb a wall or a tree or protect yourself? And then you can handle this emotionally, this chaos, this disaster. Can you do this? So I've been saying this for a long time. And to be honest with you, not a lot of people can do that. As we know, 12% only of the population, the whole population, kids included, are only healthy, just 12%.
That's really staggering when you think about it. And the obesity
it's very crazy
of all over. So
it's very crazy. So what happened? Pandemic happened. It happened just the opposite. We were stuck at home, but the whole thing was the same. So what happened? We got sicker, we got weaker, and so that's what I do actually. And so, yeah.
Yeah,
So-
hey, Karen, I'm sorry, Doug, but
No, go, Mark.
to add on, when you was mentioning like you could be healthy and everything, but you could still suffer from mental health issues
Right.
and everything like that. So I'm going to use me as an example. So I'm out, I'm healthy. I've been in the health industry for well over 20 years and everything, and I moved out to Sweden. I got married to my wife out here, but what happened was when I moved out here, my social life went down. And that by me not having a social life out here in Sweden, it affected my mental health.
Okay.
And from my mental health, then that started to go into my physical health. So I had to get back into the swing of things and try to fill in that void of missing that social part of my life, because it's all interconnected. Once one is gone, then it'll affect you whether you realize it or not.
Yeah.
So for me, I started saying like, wow, I don't have a social life out here. This is 2 totally different cultures. So I had to get acclimated to everything. And I'm still going through it. And I've been here since 2013, but it's still a process. So with the herbs and everything, I got more into it. And people out here, they was thinking that something was wrong. They're like, this guy's a little cuckoo. He's out here talking to flowers and plants. but they actually became my friends. And the more I started to learn about them and being around the flowers and hearing the birds chirp and everything, and just seeing the animals and not even having my phone on me, that really, really helped to heal me.
Yeah.
And
Getting back to the basics, actually.
back to the basics, right back in the forest. And what's interesting out here is that they do not see a man of hue out in the forest. They said, "What in the world is
Man
he
of
doing
hue.
out there?" And I say to them, that flower you've been driving past from work every day for the past 40, 50 years and been walking past, or you think it's an annoying weed or something like that. That's one of the best herbs and flowers that could heal
Yeah.
different parts of your
Yeah.
body.
That's
And
the
they're
beauty of
amazed
it.
by it. So
Yeah.
people are slowly catching on to it. And in return, by me giving back, that has helped me with my social life
That's awesome.
out here.
That's great.
Because that's really what it is. I mean, obviously, moving from place to place, but going to a different country, a different culture, is a lot more drastic than moving to another state, what have you. And I mean, I think it's the mental health and the physical health, as you said, Mike, they go hand in hand. And a lot of times, it's if you are exercising, from all the endorphins and what that does to you, it's a direct correlation with both. And sometimes it really is that routine, that making that commitment where no matter how you feel, you're down, you're whatever, but if you get out there and just do something to move, it really does help. And I mean, that's what we champion on the show. If you don't use it, you're going to lose it.
Absolutely.
Especially as we age, it's so important.
Yeah. Karen and Doug, with the health thing, when I was younger, I would be the one that's in the gym trying to lift up the world, right? And wanted to look muscular, wanted to impress people. This is in my teenager years. And then
We were all that way, though.
Yeah. Then I started to notice. I said, "Hey, I get into my 30s, and I said, well, wait, hold on now. I'm starting to get a little ache here and a little ache there. I'm not healing as fast." And then I got in my 40s. I said, wait, hold on. Now it's taking me a longer time for these muscles to recover. And then I realized I was missing some of the most important components now in my fitness regimen. And that is things like balance and coordination, eye and hand movement and speed, and also flexibility. And of course, number one, the cardio, which is, cardiovascular disease is the number one disease in the world. So I had to implement those into my daily workout regimen. And then I really started to thrive with my health. It wasn't about me going in there trying to lift up a bunch of weights or anything, putting so much pressure on my joints and my ligaments and my tendons. It was more like I had to get smarter and start practicing stretching.
Yeah, right. It's funny. I think we all want to do that when we're younger. So, Karen, somebody comes to you, right? You obviously evaluate them. Walk us through what you would do and how you would take your principles and your policies into somebody that's struggling.
So first I need to have a phone call because lifestyle change is extremely difficult, and you really have to be sick of your own life and you really want to change, because lifestyle change is until you die. It's not a temporary thing. So to be honest with you, if I tell them, hey, you just have to do this diet, just follow the menu, probably it's the easiest thing for them to do. But if I tell them you need to go to sleep early, you need to wake up early, you need to exercise in the morning, and you need to have your faith and emotion, your lifestyle, your relationships, you have the stress control, everything, and then it's like almost like I insulted them, and that's the most difficult thing. I mean, to be honest with you, I see cancer patients, and it's a life and death situation. They kind of go, well, and I go, okay. So first I have to talk to them. And then are they really ready? I'm the kind of person that I'd rather do my program right than take your money. If it's only about making money, then I will accept everyone. So then I tell them my rules. Well, there's no milk and milk products. There's no gluten. There is no alcohol. And for a while, because they all come to me sick, and nobody's coming to me healthy. Even your body is over fat, not overweight. Your body is sick because it's not able to do what it's supposed to do on its own. So then I can hear it in their voice. I'll know if they are going to be okay with me.
You can tell.
And I can tell. I can tell over the phone. And then I send them my link, and they have to make appointment, whatever. But after they make their appointment, they have to download 5 different documents, and it's very extensive. And one of the documents is an award-winning doctor's documents that I can literally tell you what's in you, what's wrong with you. I have sent so many people to the doctors with that document, and then I analyze them, and then I pick the supplements that they need. I purchase them myself, and I send it to them. And then we have our first appointment. Our first appointment is always long, like an hour and a half to 2 hours, because I really also have to understand their childhood, because whatever their parents did, that they are the result of that. However, what antibiotics they used and everything.
That's so important. I thank you for bringing that up, because we are a product of our environment, and a lot of
culture.
The damage has been done at childhood that we're still fighting, even though we're not, 30, 40, whatever years. That's still
everything
kind of in that mind. And once you're able to break that away, it's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. That's
everything
so important.
It's your health, and it's the way you look at life. Yes. Everything is shaped. So it's up to you to realize it and break the chain, whichever chain you want to break. So because people think that it's genetics. It's like, they say Black people has diabetes and hypertension, and Middle Eastern, they have anemia. It's not genetic. It's cultural. It's cultural. Hypertension comes from insulin resistance. Heart health comes from insulin resistance. This has nothing to do with cholesterol, actually. They all come from sugar, right? So you can actually break the chain and not have your mothers and fathers diabetes or hypertension. So I have to analyze all that. And then once a week, we see each other face-to-face on Zoom or at my house, but I follow them every day. See, that's very extensive for me. So that's why I cannot accept a lot of people, because I have to look at their diary, there's questions, their pictures, what problem they're having. If they're going to go to a restaurant, I teach them how to order. I pick their food and I say, this is how you order, and break the barriers. So that's an 8-week, very extensive program, especially for me. But I am from another culture. I'm from Turkey. But my character is, my husband always tells me, you are very straightforward, but to the point that you can make someone cry. And I go, yeah, because it's not that I do it on purpose, but if I'm telling you something that you're not doing right, it's not for myself. Yeah. It's for you. I don't gain anything.
You're passionate about what you believe.
Right. Someone has to tell the truth.
Yeah.
And it's a mess. It's a mess out there. So when I said back to basics, actually, as a human, we used to live with intuition like the animals. Actually, we do have a choice, of course. We are the only one we can choose.
Yes,
we can make a mess out of it. But we used to live intuitionally. So we used to automatically do grounding because our shoes were different. We used to, it was from bark, or it used to be a pig, rawhide, pig skin, right? Exactly. And we used to wake up early because we didn't have any other choice. We used to go to sleep early because we were tired all day. We used to gather and hunter, like Michael said, and we didn't eat constantly. We ate protein and fat a lot, and then fruits and vegetables. There was no grain. And then we just saw the sun. We got the sun, and we had relationships. We had family. So that's it. So back to basic, we cannot go live in the past. but we can imitate most of it. Meaning, you can wake up early, and it's for free. You could right?
That's
you can
so true.
It's free. You can go to bed early. It's your choice and it's free. You can turn off your telephone and all the blue light. You can do that. It's a choice, right? It's a choice. You can move your body with your own body weight in the morning. That's your choice. That's for free, actually. You don't have to go to the gym. It's free. You can pray, you can have faith, that's for free. You can go to sunlight, or you can find a park and take off your shoes, that's for free. The only thing that you have to pay money, it's food.
Or you can grow your own food. Be self-sufficient.
Exactly.
Unadulterated.
Which we should do.
We should do. And a lot of people are going back to that. So
I'm trying to teach, and it's so sad. Every time I see someone privately or Instagram, or I do Zoom educations, it is so sad in my heart that I have to teach a human being what they need to eat as a human being. That is the saddest thing for me. It's sad.
I know it is, but I honestly believe it's, our government literally promotes food that's kind of bad for us, but it's all greed over money, and that's the sad thing. I mean,
I know, but
that's why the awareness is so important of what you're putting into your body.
Yeah.
I tell people, you're right, but I never blame McDonald's or other places or the junk food or the chocolate or the cigarette, the alcohol. They're gonna do what they're gonna do because we ask for it.
Yeah,
we are right. Don't buy it.
Yeah.
Do not buy it.
Yeah. Karen, I remember when I first learned. I grew up in New York, in Yonkers, New York, and I remember that I first learned that I was living in a food desert, what the USDA and the FDA calls a food desert, right? In which a impoverished community doesn't have access to fresh fruits and vegetables.
Right.
So I remember as a child clearly that me and my friends would have to go to a local bodega because the places that had the fruits and the vegetables was so far away from us, and our parents didn't have cars or anything.
Right.
So we would go to a bodega that had all these highly processed foods. We would eat potato chips, candy, sodas, and juices with dyes in them. But we didn't know back then. We was just drinking it. And then our parents didn't know no better. My dad died of cirrhosis of the liver at the age of 47 years old.
Wow.
Okay. So it was up to me to break that chain.
Exactly.
But I had to dig really deep in, and it was tough.
It's hard. It's very hard.
Tough. But for me, it was something inside of me that was just desiring to be a full-fledged human being.
Right.
And that's all I desired to be. And
I
now
agree.
I still do. So
yeah.
I didn't learn until I actually started getting sicker and sicker and sicker until I got tired of being sick. And sometimes people just don't get it until it's either too late or they go through enough pain to be like, I'm tired of it. I'm going to do something about it.
But see, you're from United States. I'm from overseas. So I landed actually to New York, 1985. I was 18 and I didn't speak a word of English. And this is 1985. That's the first time I met with pizza, French fries, and hamburger and alcohol. So
that's fascinating. When you really think about that.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
I grew up with no TV because it came in 70s TV to Turkey. And so you see, America, everybody now wants to imitate America. That's why we're in a mess where we are. So you're right. I agree with you. I gained all my weight in college. I used to be a swimmer. I used to, I grew up very healthy, but that's how it was before. And then everything is exactly like United States now. And Turkey right now is being voted first in Europe and obesity.
That's when you think about that is staggering.
Wow.
It's
Everybody,
horrible.
you said it. Everybody wants to be like America, and let's face
Yeah,
it,
and it's a mess.
it's a mess. And there's a lot of wonderful things about America where
Yes.
you come over here,
Yes.
you can have
Yes.
nothing, then all of a sudden you can, create a
Yes.
new life for you.
That's why I'm here.
I know, but it really is going back to those basics of food, and what we eat is so important, because we were talking earlier, there's ingredients that are put in the food in America are banned in other countries. And it's coming down to a very small percentage of people that, it's all about the money. How much money? Growing up, I grew up on Captain Crunch and all those cereals that they're saying, oh, this is great, you have to have your breakfast. And the number one or number two ingredient is sugar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you look at what that has caused generation after generation. Now there's an awareness that's starting to make its way throughout our country, but still it's what is available. And that's what we are all about. We are about creating an awareness to just say, hey, let that light bulb go off, man. You want to be around, you want to be healthy, you want to be able to play with your grandkids at 60, 70. You have to change what you put into your body. And you have to say
You're
what
right.
Karen was saying. I love that little thing you said. Can you go without food? Can you climb a wall? Can you get out? There's a lot of people. I was just in Oregon. I was just working in Oregon, and where I was, I have never seen so many walkers and motorized wheelchairs in my life. So, and once we step out of our major cities, there's more of an awareness. You go to kind of certain other areas of America, it's just exponential of what they're eating and how they take care of themselves.
Yep.
So it really needs to be, addressed.
Yeah.
Well,
Karen, I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
Really quick. Thank you. How do you go about handling a situation in which you meet a new client and somebody comes to you for help and they want that, especially in the United States, that instant gratification? They want it to happen like right now. They want it. It's like they want to take a magic pill.
Right. I first where you have to start with them is that's what has been very successful. I need to turn them to themselves, meaning why don't you value yourself? First, I make them think a little bit, and they go, I like myself. I said, no, whatever you value, you will take care of it. Trust me on that. You don't take care of it. If you're not taking care of yourself, it means you don't value yourself. And then I also see that they have a lot of unforgiveness from the past. They don't like themselves. They have not forgiven themselves for the past. They haven't forgiven others. So automatically they can move forward. But then I also teach them their root causes. I say this is like you have a stomach problem, you have adrenaline fatigue, and you have intestinal issue, maybe leaky gut, and this and that, which they all do actually at this point. And I go, this happens over the years. This is not something like if a cancer start and by the time the machine finds it, at least 10 years. At least 10 years. So you don't have it. Diabetes is the same thing. It's at least 5 to 10 years. Over time, it happens. So I said, it happened like that long, then you have to be patient. 8 weeks is pretty much a step moving forward. But what happens is in 2 weeks, max in 2 weeks, they see such an interesting result besides the weight loss. Their skin, that's the first thing it changes, their skin.
The biggest organ in the body.
They glow. They start glowing because everybody's gray right now. So automatically start changing. So I always tell you, come to me by faith. When you see the changes, the motivation comes. Nobody starts with a motivation. Motivation is a feeling. Who cares about your feeling? It's so up and down. It's so up and down. Do you need a motivation to take a shower? No. Do you need a motivation to go poop? No. So automatically, it's food that you need to do, and exercise is the same thing as breathing. You have to exercise. There's no such thing. Should I exercise today? No, it's an everyday thing. You can be a model. It's you still need to do it for health.
It's a
So
lifestyle.
automatically, it's a lifelong. So I approach everybody differently. So you said something, Michael, and I have a little answer for you. Just an opinion, let's say. I deal with a lot of people that have gone, come from Turkey to LA to New York. There's a lot of Turkey, or they move to England or whatever. And they've been living here for 20 years and they're still miserable, right? And you said that. The reason why is that where we are, we have not accepted where we are right now. You need to just accept this is where I am. How can I see like it's really bad. How can I turn this to heaven because this is where I am? Accept it first.
Wow.
And then the way you look at things, it will change. The way you see social. Everybody is struggling with that. Social. And usually people that are not, they are social because they don't want to be on their own. They don't want to hear their voices. They don't want to hear their brain. They don't want to hear it because it's a mess in there. But so if you can correct two things, you will be like, oh my God, I wouldn't change a thing. I'd rather have this. So that what helped me, adaptability.
Okay. Wow.
You got to accept it where you are. If you keep looking where you came from, you're always going to stay there. Just a little tidbit.
No,
you experienced it. Actually, coming from Turkey to here, I'm sure you went through the same growing pains, if you will, that Michael could be.
Nope, zero.
The power
but I tell you, yes, I went through. But you know when? 2000. We went to Turkey, stayed there for 7 years. We were famous over there. On TV, interviews, newspapers, busy. We had a clinic and everything, right? Came back from Turkey to America. Who knew? We were gone for 7 years. You have to start all over again, right? And even with your credit, everything. So 2 years, I tell you, we were home. We couldn't figure out how to start to work because nobody knew us. We came from Turkey. Then I had a hard time sitting home. And me working out of my house, I was kind of like, I was miserable. And I was so jealous of Tony. I said, you're always out in Las Vegas or whatever. I was not happy like him.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, God opened my eye one day. Something happened and I had to be home or I had to run. I said, you know what? If I was working out there, I wouldn't have been able to manage this. God put me in my house because I can do everything, work and enjoy my house and take care of the household and whoever needs me. And it became a blessing instead of becoming a curse.
Yep, there you go.
Oh my goodness.
Looking inside.
That is
That's
so
what it's all about. So Karen, thank you so much. Where will we find you, Ariel? Where can we find you if our people out there watching that would love to have your expertise? Because I love the straightforwardness, man. It's like you're gonna have people that are gonna love you and they're gonna fight you, but I'll tell you, I guarantee those changes that you are after, this young lady will help you get there. So, Karen, thank you so much, and shout out to your lovely husband, Tony Hill.
Thank you.
Missed him. And
Memorial
Day weekend for all those that served out there. So thank you. And Mike, is the tea ready yet before we say goodbye?
Yes, it is ready. So I'm going to pour a little cup to see that beautiful color come out. It's a little...
Looks like apple. Wow, look at that. Nice and rich.
It's beautiful.
Yes. So that's what happens when you infuse your herbs and keeping the top on. You keep it on let it steep for at least 10, 15 minutes. And of course, let it cool down and just sip on it and enjoy it and let it fight it out in the body.
Yeah, there we go. So, Mike, how will we find you? Let's there he is, MikeGreen.se.
MikeGreen.se. Yes.
So once again, thank you, Karen. Thank you, Mike, for sharing
It was my pleasure.
all of our loveliest, salubrious tips and activities and eupeptic. I'm going to work on that. So the next time you're on, Mike, that's going to roll off my tongue a little bit better.
Yes.
Once again, thank you, everyone, for joining us at Fit Over 50. Mr. Tony Hill, I miss you. And remember, you have to respect the temple that was given to you. Knowledge is power. Seek and find. And it's about being the best you can be. It all starts with self-love, as Karen said before. All those things that happen in our childhood that stay with us, you got to break it. You got to break that mold, and you can be whoever you want to be. So thank you, everybody. Happy Sunday. Enjoy.
Sunday.
Appreciate all. Thanks, guys.
Work them arms, work them legs. Strong for life because hard work pays off. A hard body that used to be soft. A rocket man taking